It's not a good sound. Are we live? It looks like we're live. Amazing. I don't like that sound. It hasn't rained. My brakes are grinding. Why are my brakes grinding? When did it rain? I mean, I know it probably rained recently, but I don't know. Doesn't sound good. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. The fact that you're here means you either have 5 seconds, because it's going to glitch out here again in a few, like in about 15 to 20 seconds. But you're here because you either have a prayer request or you want to hear mine for reasons of bearing one another's prayer requests and stuff. So I've got a few. And apparently we'll be adding another one to the list that I didn't even know until I got in my car. So it's good. Again, it's going to glitch out here. I'm going to wait about 20 seconds before, to make sure we get past this little dead spot. There's a little spot in the road. That little corner back there, it just glitches out. All right. You're here, I'm here. Everybody may or may not be here, but, you know. It says 3. That may or may not be accurate. You going to turn? Yeah, good job. Good job. Yay. All right. Welcome, Breath of Fresh Air. Last time I had a brake job, it was like 150, 200. Actually, so I got a brake job on 2000 Chevy S10. All the brakes redone, and a couple of calipers. It was 260 something. But all 4 brakes, see, it just depends. I think my rotors are fine. But that sound was not a happy sound and very unfamiliar. So I'll have to take a look at it. Like I'm testing. It's not making the sound at 45 miles an hour. So it might have just been temporary. It might have been a little bit of light rust. But anyway, so check this out. Interesting stuff. Good news. No, my brakes are working, guys. Don't freak out. My brakes are working. It's just they were making a noise, and you got to be cautious about these things. So I kind of mentioned this before, and I might not have much time left. My live streaming is towards the end of my capabilities, and I have about 9 or 10 days left of my billing cycle. So I keep on letting you guys know that I'm about to run out of my ability to do this until the next billing cycle. So, but I'll be able to do stuff at home, just, Anyway, so here's some prayer requests. Let's pray for all the people in the world. Amen. I'm done. Okay, I'm kidding. I was trying to be a little generic because I like to protect the anonymity. There's someone quite important to me. Happens to have been around anyway. Just pray for my parents in general. I've gotten into some conversations with them over the past, years and stuff. And they seem to think that it's judgmental to criticize. Seem to think that it's judgmental to call sin, and that I don't have any place to tell somebody what to do. And this, yes, in most instances has been in relation to abortion, but not just abortion. This has been in relation to other topics too. My point is grace and not judging is so important, because those that are hardcore about the law sometimes, well, many times, if not almost every single time, fall into the trap of being judgmental towards others, lacking grace, lacking compassion. Let me repeat that one, lacking compassion. Let me repeat that one more time, lacking compassion. Okay, but if we are following Jesus in his example, then you will know that Jesus had plenty of compassion. He had the right amount of compassion, because everything about Jesus was right and righteous. So what did he say? He said, "He without sin cast the first stone." So anybody, if any of you guys out here, folks, whomever, you think you're perfect, go ahead, stone this lady. No takers? That's amazing. It actually kind of is amazing, because people lie about themselves all the time. But somehow his presence, I believe that Jesus' presence had to have somehow spoken to their hearts and convicted them of the truth, so that they had no place. I don't know. I don't know why. Because I almost would have imagined some person like, yeah, you know, that's how it would happen today. People lie. I mean, and they lied too. They were liars. But anyway, we'll move on. But what did he say to the woman? He said, "Go and sin no more." So yes, grace. And hey, by the way, the moral of the story is go and sin no more. But he didn't mean like no more at all. Is that what he said? Anyway, you get it. Hopefully to God, and with the grace of God, you will get it. So anyway, my prayer and prayer request specifically is just that my family and your families, all of our families, will grow in the love of the truth, and desire to know it and proclaim it, all the truth. So I think about the whole once saved, always saved. Yeah, and those people say, and if you could lose your salvation, you would lose your salvation. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then talks about woe to those that have tasted and experienced and walk away. And that's a paraphrase. Go look it up for yourself. I definitely paraphrase there, but you'll get it. Just look it up. So anyway, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's terrible. It walked away from the faith. It's like hypothetically impossible. And it's not in contradiction to the other point. It's in tension to the other point. Tension, not intention, but tension. It is contending with. It's not contradictory, though, because the things of God, his truth, happens to have some more than one way to look at it. And here's another aspect of this. It has to do with his perfect perspective, being outside of time. And that can really throw the whole understanding of what is going on off in our brains, because we live inside of this 3/4 dimensional world. We're not outside of it, we're inside of it. So the truths of God blow our minds, because he's outside of dimensionality. That really distorts things sometimes, and that's why it's actually okay. Just think about, if you know anything about quantum physics, then you'll get it. It's not about contradiction. It's It's about a super state. Anyway, we'll move on. So that's one of my prayer requests relevant to today. But here's another one, very relevant to my family and our ability to survive and make it. Why is everybody freaking out right now? Hello? Huh? What's going on? Everybody just slowed down. Just all police lights up above. Yeah. Well, listen, I hit cruise control. What are you doing? Like, all right, so check this out. I have an opportunity coming up, hypothetically, possibly, if God wills it, to get an interview for a position to make twice what I'm making now. I didn't know exactly what the pay scale was, and then I learned what the pay scale was, and yeah. So it's in addition to that, I've been working the position I'm working currently for 10 months, almost 10 months. And this new position will be an opportunity to work 6 months and then become a permanent employee after the 6 months are up. It's like, oh, you met the requirements, you did great. You're doing great, kid. Sorry. Hold on. You're doing great, kid. I had to get the tone right there. You're doing great, kid. Got to get the lung cancer tone of voice in there. It's not a funny thing to joke about. It's not funny. All right, so this is a position called instructional design, and it's something that I have done in a casual, professional setting and stuff, but not to the degree that I would be doing it. However, I'm not a moron, and I know how to think, and I've done my research. I know what ISD is, and I can do it. Can I do it the same as somebody that's been doing it 15 years? Well, of course not. Come on. But it is a job I know I could do. It's not a far stretch, and I just need to. First, steps, one step at a time. So, first step is acquiring an interview. So my supervisor is advocating for me, and other people within the room that I work in and stuff, other assistant managers, and which is funny. There's like so many levels of leadership that the titles don't hold the weight that you would think that they do. So when I say assistant manager, you're like, assistant manager. So I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. So I have a supervisor, but not a supervisor. It's like a mini supervisor. They have their own acronym. That person has a supervisor, which is my direct supervisor. And then in between, as a side leadership role, is somebody that just is the quality control person. And they're just more of an authority on the rules and stuff. But then that's my so 1, 2 supervisor. His boss is the assistant manager, and then there's a manager, and that's the managers that are in the room that we're in. The assistant manager would be over like 100 and something people. The manager would be over like the 300 and something people, and then they have a boss. That person has a boss. I'm trying to think of how many it takes to get the president. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 9 levels above me to the president. I think that's how it works. So maybe increase my speed to the actual speed limit so I can get home someday. So please, if you what is that game? If you love me, you'll laugh. Yeah, forget that game. How about if you love me, you'll pray? Yeah, I've talked to you guys and prayed for you all. Some of you, I don't know your actual names and stuff, which is fine. God knows who you are. I could just be like that one dude that's always talking about silly putty, and God knows who you are. It doesn't even matter. Like, that's why when people start like arguing about, you have to say the name exactly right, and if you don't say the name exactly right, you're going to get to the door of heaven, and God's going to look at you and say, depart from me, I never knew you, because you didn't say my name right. There are people that say that kind of stuff. No. No. That's not how it works. And if you believe that, you are a Dumas. I think you just cussed. No, it's a dude's name. It's in a commercial. I think he just cussed. I think we have proof that he just cussed. Dirty mouth. He's going to spend another 20 years thinking of how he should have said that differently. Probably not, guys. Probably not. Anyway, so the prayer request specifically is to get the job. Does it take an interview first? Yeah, but I'm going to need God's help in that interview because, sometimes I'm okay with first impressions and sometimes I come across a little too heavy, a little too hardcore. No, I mean, I just really and truly, I just psych myself out and do my best to be humble and concise and confident. And balancing humility and confidence is a mental game like none other, and it requires God's help. That's the good way to do it. Now, there's the sodomizing Gomorran way, and that's where you just walk in there all Enrique Suave, like, with your machismo, and you lie. That's the Gomorran way. And I'm not a big fan of Gomorrans. I like to avoid those ways of life. And, I like, fidelity and chastity and stuff. So I stay away from Gomorrans and their behaviors and their ways of life. As well, you should as well. That's my strong recommendation to you. Don't be a Gomorran. So anyway, pray to God that this works out, because it's the first glimmer of light at the end of a long tunnel that I've seen in a while. And it might not be. It might not be the opportunity. It might not be the thing. Maybe it'd be something else. But it is a good opportunity. That's one that makes sense for my skill set. It's not the end all. But you guys, anybody that's been here for more than a couple of... We're still here? All right. Anybody that's been here for a little while knows that I definitely need help financially. I'm about $1,000 shy every month, and I've only been able to survive based on the generosity of my church and you guys. And it's dwindling very quickly, extremely quickly, way too quickly. So, but God is a provider. Yifra, not Jireh. I wish we could just get rid of the just. We don't need the just. I mean, I know that I was just talking about not pronouncing, that you don't have to pronounce everything just right, and you don't. You don't. But certain words, get rid of the J at the very least. That's an obvious one. So, Yira or Yaira, but not Jireh. That's not anywhere near the original pronunciation at all. Jireh. like gyroscope. God's our provider, like a gyroscope. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Not even close. You're right. It's more than likely the pronunciation. And again, it could be Yahuwah. It could also be Yefet. You know, I talked about how it's probably a vav and not a u. I mean, it is a vav, but it's probably not an u sound. But there's arguments. It doesn't matter. It does and it doesn't. It's not the biggest deal. It really is not the biggest deal. If it was, then the entire Bible would be this long guide on how to pronounce words. And guess what? There is a book all about word magic. It's called Kabbalah. And if for those that love the devil, they worship Kabbalah. And they are not getting it at all. Well, if you want to criticize Kabbalah is from the 200 AD. Nope. Word magic, devil worship. Leave me alone. Go away. Anyway, what are more prayer requests, guys? What's another prayer request? Again, post yours. Let me bless my life by allowing me to get my mind off of myself for once, because that's all I do. Obviously, it's all I do to pray for you. You know, and give me some unspokens. I love unspokens. They're the favorite of all Christianese. I have a prayer request. An unspoken. Well, that sounds serious. Have you seen a doctor for that? Well, how'd you know? How did you know? No, I mean, like, for your voice, because, you know, like, make your prayers known to God. Like, why do you have to not speak it? Is it like a medical condition? Wait, I thought you said unspoken when you don't want everybody to know what your prayer request is because it's really embarrassing. Oh, like you're embarrassed to be a human being and to have sin in your life? You know that verse that says, he who claims he has no sin is a liar? Yeah, just don't say unspoken, dude. Just say your prayer request. And if people are judging you, you know they're probably going to burn in hell, right? Like they need their souls saved, because if somebody's looking at you for your sin and they're like looking at you differently and thinking that they're better than you, they probably don't have Jesus in their life. And if they do, they have a long, 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 long way to go. And you can pray for them. But anyway, back to the point. Don't say unspoken, dude. Conversations at a youth group that gets it. That was actually pretty good, guys. It was actually pretty good. That would be a conversation at a youth group that gets it. Serious. But anyway, it's all good. You know, there are a couple of you that I have been learning some stuff about your life, and I can just pray for you regularly. Because it's a situation that will either resolve itself, and I'll probably hear about it eventually. All right. I thought I had another prayer request, guys. Oh, yeah. Well, this was pretty important, too. My wife and kids have been coughing and sick and stuff for like over 2 weeks for my kids, and about a week and a little over, almost 2 weeks for my wife. And thank God that I've been spared, because, you know, finances and stuff. But it helps for people to be, you know, not sick, and the people I love, especially, because, you know, anyway, you get what I'm saying. So it's sad, especially the little boy. He's had some rough days, but it's just one of those lingering things, and the coughing all night situation is not fun for anybody. So anyway, we've been chomping down garlic and doing what we can, drinking lots of water, eating healthy. Again, doing what we can. But, pray for their bodies to just beef up and go into Hulk smash mode. The white blood cells and all the fun T cells and good stuff that comes to party and take care of business. We need all that action to take place. If some of y'all are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, just the basic immune system knowledge. Anyway. All right, comments. Just saying hello because your name, I think I've only seen you once before, possibly. But what's up? Yeah, I'm like the assistant to the 9 levels. I'm not going to say all that, but yeah. Froze moments. Look into real estate photography. I don't know what your income needs are. Probably more than mine and stuff. I just assume that most people require more because I've tried to minimize my overhead as much as possible. Anyway, about $15 to $20 an hour, but sometimes do a per site thing. So like, I don't know if you're near a bigger city, but real estate photography, where you go and specifically like to rentals, rental units and stuff like that, where you can take pictures. They pay decent for photography altogether. So, yeah, God's grace is what keeps us, man. God, we don't really acknowledge regularly enough just how much we're sustained by God. The breath we have each moment. That movie that I was telling you all about this morning, same kind of different as me, I believe is the name of the title. It's a really emotional movie, tough, especially for those of you that are married. And if you're not into any level of drama or intense themes, then don't want. Yeah. Anyway, point is, I don't want to give anything away with the movies, so I'll just. But anyway, we just don't acknowledge regularly enough just how much we are actually dependent on him. We think we're holding ourselves up. It's kind of funny. It's funny in a sad way. Funny, pathetic, I'm still having some struggles with the conversation via text because I was at work and stuff that I had with my dad. You're not right just because you feel right.